it just works better for everybody.
Okay. No,
All right. So if you are watching us now, you are watching our YouTube replay. We're recording this earlier, and you can see Greg in his new abode, and he's getting his new. Well, no, he's not getting his new. He's getting my old mic.
Thinking about getting a new one.
New to Greg.
You're on your computer, Kev? Is that what you're on?
Yeah, I'm on my computer. I've got a webcam on the top. The only problem is the speaker is through the computer. I didn't bring my AirPods in.
What type of speaker do you have? What type of
it's in
what
a
computer?
It's in a Mac Mini.
Mac Mini. And what type of, is it a USB input on there?
Oh, yes, it is. I think, unfortunately, with the Mac Mini, I've got two USB ports. One's for the webcam.
Oh, okay.
And the other's for the monitor. So.
Oh yeah, never mind. I was
gonna
walk over a potential headset for you.
Okay, but it would be USB rather than just like the jack.
Do you have an audio in and out jack?
Let me see.
That'd be funny. He's right across the hall. I thought I had one.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah, you do?
I do have a spare. I put the monitor's not. I do have a spare USB, and I
right,
also have a headphone.
Oh, hold on.
I'll come across the hallway there.
I wish I had a camera on both of them so we could see them meet them in the middle of the hallway and come back.
All right, hold on.
He's in the upstairs office. He's literally right next to you. Okay, I got it. Forgot they moved offices.
So, did you get all settled in on your new house?
Getting there.
Yeah.
It's been a process because Homerama was supposed to be this week, so the BIA has been running up and down the street like trying to come in. We've got different subs and contractors in, so we're in. It's just been a revolving door of people for the past literally 7 days. Every day we've had, like today we had sod coming. They had to replace it.
Work your mic because that microphone is not on. You're getting echo. You're gonna work that.
What is that better?
No, check the cardioid, the cardioid pattern. What are your options?
It was omnidirectional.
Don't keep going. Something else. Keep going.
Single directional.
Yeah, better? Turn it. Yeah, now turn it
that
the other
better
way.
In the front.
Turn it. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, that's the frontal direction.
Keep going.
You want me to keep changing the directional?
I don't know. So Kevin, if that works, check on the audio settings. Check on Zoom. See, Steve, we come with this.
What about now?
Sennheiser.
Oh yeah. What? No, I didn't hear you. I thought I had you. Keep trying.
He was there for a second.
There.
Yeah, I did hear him too.
There he is.
Pick up.
Oh, wow.
Better?
Whoa.
Much better. Now you sound like Brad Lawler.
Brad Lawler.
It's night and day. I mean, so you keep that.
So I've got a face for radio now, right?
Welcome to the future.
I'm just telling you, the audio quality. When you hear this, you go, "Shit, what the hell have I been doing all these years?" Okay. All right.
Is the volume okay?
Perfect.
Yeah, you're good.
Are you on my Wi-Fi? Did
Okay.
you sign on my Wi-Fi? Because hopefully you're on my Wi-Fi.
No, I gave up stealing your Wi-Fi. I finally went ahead and splurged and bought my own.
All right. So hold on, Tyler. All right, we all ready, you guys? We got a lot of stuff to talk about here. So just note. Let me turn that off. All right. Steve Phillips. All right. Yep. I think. See, we're gonna.
Hey, by the way,
yeah.
I was a gentleman waving to you at Which, and I think that you didn't recognize me.
I saw your car. I thought it might have been you.
Disdain.
You were pulling in You were pulling in as I was going inside, right?
Yes, I would do the carry out. I'm not a risk taker like you.
I carried out.
To dive.
I carried out.
Curbside or the curb where I actually had the young man
you
bring it out to me and drop it in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Curbside, yes.
You saw me wearing my mask, right?
I did see you that, but it's. I would say to my Twitter friends that those cloth masks are 2% effective. Would you wear a condom that was 2% effective?
Oh my God! Hold on, I'll be right back.
Well, wait a
Hopefully,
second.
oh, you got to scrub that. You got to
See, I go the other direction. I say,
Yeah.
if I was gonna fart in your face, right?
You said direction, right?
Sorry, that's the dogs.
If I was gonna fart in your face, would you rather have a cloth that helps you 2% or 0%? I'll
Well,
take the 2%.
I just think that everybody feels real good about it.
I'll be
But
right back.
go N95 or don't leave your house. It's all the studies are. It's such a low percentage. You
What's a low
instead of getting it
percentage?
in 10 days, you get it in 12 days.
Wait, what's a
Cloth,
low
the
percentage?
cloth, the bandanas, the cloth. It's 2% effective in filtering virus versus like an N95 that's 95%. I've got an N95 and it's like I'll go into like Home Depot.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep that on. It's just the
Yeah.
cloth are just really not that effective.
I was wearing an
Pretty much all the
N95.
studies show that, but they don't want you to. The N95, yeah.
I was wearing an N95.
Were you? All right.
Well, yeah, it has that little filter thing.
Well, the ones that have, I think 3M is the only one that manufactures them, but they pretty much are pretty well labeled on that. But it's the virus particles are so small that the N95 is the only one that really is effective at it.
Correct.
And apparently they're showing HVAC systems, aerosol.
They're
So
what?
elevators, HVAC
Yeah.
systems, and aerosol. So don't get in the elevator. Take the steps.
Hey, do me a favor. You may want to switch to my Wi-Fi.
Is
Or
it
you may
bad?
be on it
Broke up
and
there.
it's straining.
Oh,
The
just
Wi-Fi.
see,
See if you're on hotspot.
Got like a spectrum.
Yeah, you're crashing.
I'll raise my camera up a little bit too.
Yeah.
My back. That's a 5. 5.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, try that. It's better.
Better.
What were you
Okay.
on?
Are you on your 2.4 gigahertz network?
2.4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better for
Because-
streaming over on 5 gigahertz channel there.
Okay. And it's no more than about 3 feet from my computer, but for some reason the 5 is not nearly. I guess the distance is what causes the
know.
issues.
I don't know.
No, it's bandwidth and channel. There's a lot going on. We had our tech guy come in and you can have him fine tuned, but the 5 gigahertz should be better for streaming and uploading.
Okay.
All right, let's get rolling. Greg, work that microphone close to you. I have a lot of echo in that.
It's as close as I can get. What do you want me to do? I don't have any soundboards in
Chew
here.
on it. Chew on it.
Is it better? How's that?
Much better. All right,
My
much better.
mouth is on the mic.
All right, here we go. Stand by. In 3, 2, 1. News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning. Bob Sokoler, the Louisville Real Estate Show, here with you for the next, let's call it 30 minutes. With us here in the studio, our friends Kevin Dissler from Pitt and Frank Attorneys. You can reach them anytime at 895-9900. Also here, in for Randy Rocky, who's got the morning off. Steve Phillips, who's over at Swan Financial. They all do a great job. And you can reach Randy and or Steve at 645-0736. My son Greg is here with us as well, as he usually is. And you can reach him anytime at you can reach me through him or him through at 376-5483. That's my number to get to me, to get to Greg. I kind of filter him because we got other agents who are trying to reach out to him to do photography, and I say,
Sole proprietor. Yeah, we
All
got
right.
that contract. You ain't gonna pry me away.
that's right, we're not going anywhere. All right, couple of quickie notes, some housekeeping before we move forward. A reminder that if you are thinking about selling your home in the near future, next year maybe as well, we have a seller's workshop that is coming up. Mark the calendars, July 23rd from 7 to 9 p.m. It's free of charge. There's no obligation. We're going to look at the 10 variables of what happens when you sell a home. Everything from how to price, how to create competition, how to make the most of the first 2 days, some simple but cost-effective ways to making and adding more value to your home. So the list goes on and on. Again, all you'll need to do to join it, send me an email. We've already got people who are sending, so be advised there are a limit to the seats. I don't really know how many. I think it's like 100 people for Zoom. Anyway, send me an email, bob@wesellouisville.com, and put workshop in the subject line. That's all I need. I'll know, and I'll send you the link to sign up officially to it. All right. And if you want to see what people are talking about, let's go to LouisvilleZillow.com. That's LouisvilleZillow.com. You'll see what people are talking about us or saying. All right. So the first thing, let's start, Steve. This is incredible. The news is jaw-dropping on some of the headlines on interest rates. I know you can't speak specifically about numbers because, let's face it, they fluctuate from moment to moment. What's the latest and why?
Well, the rates are continuing to be low and strong, and they're going to be this way for a long period of time. The economy is nowhere, and it's in no position to, maintain itself, especially with the COVID factor. So the Fed's doing everything they can to make the money as easy as possible for the banks to lend. So the liquidity is still a little bit of a concern, but overall, the rates themselves, 2.91 is about the lowest again that we were just talking last time I was on about. Oh, they hit the lowest rates ever. Well, they've done it again. So 2.91. I even just today quoted a borrower at a 2.25 on a VA loan. So they are getting
2.25.
Yeah, there's discount points with those lower rates, but we had a quote of 2.25. So he's taking that. I'm getting that locked in as soon as I finish our little show here. So, but yeah, so the rates are out there. They're not going anywhere. They're going to be this way through the rest of this year, more than likely beginning to the middle of next year, if not longer, depending upon what factors in COVID when the fall hits and what rebound we have off that. So a lot of factors involved, but overall, there's slight variables day to day, but for the most part, low rates for the next year.
Do me a favor. Let's back up for a second. Discount points. So if you're thinking, folks, you're listening to the show and you're going, whoa, 2.25. What if I wanted to do a refi or to buy a home? And let's say you're quoting, let's just say, because I see numbers that I'm looking at in front of me of 2.95, 2.9, 2.92. Now you come along with the word buy down. So what does that actually mean to a buyer? What is the extra amount of money? Let's say it's a $300,000 home, and you're planning on staying in that home for the rest of your life. So it might make sense if you've got a 4% interest rate that maybe you go to refi, and then you start at maybe 2.9 for good credit, obviously. So what happens from there? How do you get even lower if you're going to buy down, and what's the cost?
Sure. So when we go to the lender with a specific borrower scenario and we ask the lender, what rate are we going to get for this client with this scenario? We don't just get one rate that we are offered. We get a range of rate, and the range can be anywhere. Well, for my client earlier today, the lowest one rate on there was the 2.25, and it went all the way up to, I think, 3.5%. And all of these rates are available. The difference is that there is, in this range of rate, normally what's called a par rate, zero rate, base rate, whatever you want to call it, where the lender is not charging you any discount points, but they're also not paying any of your closing costs. And so it's kind of the even base rate. Now, if you start going higher than that rate, the lender will in turn start paying some of or all of your closing costs. And that's when you see some banks offering $0 closing costs. Everybody can do that. They're just going to give you a higher rate. That rate for that higher rate offsets the closing cost. In verse of that, however, if you go lower on the rates, that is when the lender starts charging discount points. And the lower you go on the rate from that par rate, the more discount points you're going to end up paying. The longer you're going to be in a home, the more benefit you get out of discount points. So discount points are not for short-term benefit. They are mostly for longer-term benefit. And the longer you are going to be in that property with discount points, the more benefit you get from discount points.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think the key I mentioned was for 30 years, if you're going to plan it. Now, I have to tell you, Greg, who's my son, he also has two sisters, my daughters. And
Do I?
Yes,
I
you
do.
do. Oh, you don't know, huh? So I have to tell you, and Kevin, you may have experienced this. I don't know about Steve, so my middle daughter, Lauren, has said to me twice now when she's selling her house and then buying another one, Dad, this is the house we're going to live in forever. And then 2 years later, we're going to sell the house and buy another one. So the reason I'm telling you this is because if you're like Lauren and you think it's going to be forever, just make sure it's forever if you're going to buy down for discount points, because otherwise you're wasting your money. Right, Steve?
Very true. Very true.
So that's an important point. So that's one thing. Then, and Kevin, you and I, we were going back and forth because one of the articles we wanted to talk about, and you sent over to me, was this pandemic derailing renters' dreams of home ownership, which moves from refinancing for those who have a house, buying, and the inspiration, because right now we are once again in the 1,850 range for homes on the market in the Louisville area, which is dramatically low, probably half of what we normally would see for this time of the year. And so as a result, any home that comes on the market, if it is even close in price, in a decent condition, and in a good location, the buyers are going to flock, and you'll get a bidding war going on, which is why we are desperately looking for homes to list and sell. So you, again, a shameless plug, but one that's worthwhile for me to tell you. 376-5483 is my number. But then we come to those who are renting, whose goal possibly this year before COVID hit was to buy their first home. And I know, Kevin, did you review what you sent me with regards to 43% of renters?
Yeah, that was from Rent Cafe, and it was making the rounds this week on various media. And it kind of flies in the face what we're seeing here. Here, the kind of lower end, which would be, I guess, 250 or under, this is flying right now. And it was just talking about how after 2008, that demographic group, the younger folks, finally got to the point they felt good about their financial condition and the world as a whole, and they're ready to make the move from a rental market to being homeowners. And now the pandemic strikes. And it was making the discussion was that a lot of them are at least answering the pollster that they've decided to delay their decision to purchase a home. But what we're seeing here in the local market is kind of the polar opposite of that. I don't know if you all can kind of confirm that, but anything 250 and under in this town, it's gone with short period of time.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect storm. It goes to what the article you sent, Kevin, is that, you know, the younger, you got to sparse them. We're still not recognizing how amazing the buyer pool was before COVID, but that doesn't make your article that you sent false, because I know a lot of my friends, a lot of people in my generation, they are twofold. One, there's an inventory issue, so they're having a really hard time finding something. And two, the ones that could are now losing their jobs, being furloughed. They were bartenders, career restaurateurs, things of that nature, because my generation just has, you know, we're more transient with our job prospects. And they just now, they can't. And now a lot of them are going, you know, they're furloughing their rent, and now they're going to owe back rent for 3 months, and they still don't have pay, and there's no relief in sight. So now their dreams of possibly owning a home, which they thought maybe they had some savings, they had this to roll through, gone. I mean, you can't get approved, Steve, correct? You know, if your back rent, you've chosen to take a furlough, and now all of a sudden you're being evicted, your world is turned upside down.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the other thing is too, we look at it from the Louisville market. If you've got a place in Brooklyn or you've got a place in Manhattan, I've got an agent friend who's got a nice condo in Manhattan she's trying to rent. There's an outflow. So we're
that's a whole nother. Yeah, I got some friends up there. The vacancy rates are insane. Like, would blow your mind just to realize how many people are just flocking away from New York and bigger cities right now.
Well, because of the density, of course.
But beneficial to cities like Louisville and other cities across the world or across the United States that are experiencing inventory shortages because of this influx.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that article suggests in the urban areas that very well may be true, but I think that Louisville is a beneficiary of that. You have a lot of outflow. You have a lot of people that can choose to live and work wherever they want. And again, the cost of living in Louisville is a great asset. I mean, it's like doubling your salary just working from home in Louisville, Kentucky. So
yeah, I should point out though that this article again, I found it interesting that there's a pent up demand by those who are in the just the millennial, a little bit below that, 43% who are looking to buy, which means if they can't buy this year because of the pandemic affecting jobs, layoffs, whatever, it's still going to happen next year or the year after. I mean, let's face it, this is not a long-term event.
Oh, more perfect storm. Remember, we talked about the rental prices a couple of weeks ago with Chuck and how all these evictions, the moratorium period is ending. And now there's going to be an influx of inventory supposedly on the market. You know, maybe we're talking maybe next March of next year, predictably, after all of these extensions and evictions start to happen. So you'll have an influx. You're going to have pent-up demand, so it will continue for growth for, like you said, beneficiary cities like a Louisville that aren't in these big market areas that are you see an outflow from?
I was listening to 840 WHAS last Sunday to our show, and then I listened to the show after it with investments, and very interesting topic about what happens in the event. There's a change in command at the top with regards to president and what happens. I mean, they're not saying this is happening or that's happening. They're just theorizing what would happen. So, Steve, if things change, and this is not a political show, so we have no dog in this fight. It's just if things change, do we see interest rates going up? Does the Fed get held to where it is, or are all bets off at that point?
Well, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of flexibility or uncertainty in regards to what will occur. But with the economy on in the situation it is, I don't think the Fed is going to be in a position to just start raising the rates. I don't see that capability helping or improving the situation. They still have a few tools that they can do, but they don't have a lot more arrows in the quiver. You know, they've already dropped it down to zero, and they've bought back QM, and they're buying back billions of dollars for the servicing to try and get some of the liquidity going. But it's hard to say what will happen, but it's something that we'll just have to wait and see, to be perfectly honest.
I've got to believe no matter who is in office, that everyone knows that real estate helps propel the economy. That's been said across the board. So to raise interest rates would be detrimental to the recovery of what's needed from COVID-19 after that passes, after we get an antivirus and we go through whatever we're about to go through over the next 6 months to get this out of the area. So anyway, just a thought. It just came to mind. What's going to happen if things change? I don't know, but I think we can all hope and cross our fingers that it's still going to stay the same. We're going to take a break. When we come back, folks, what will homes look like in a post-pandemic world? That's kind of interesting. Greg actually has a little insight because of what he's doing with this house that he just built over at Norton Commons. In the studios with us, Steve Phillips, who's with the Swan Financial, and you can reach Steve and Randy and the rest of the good folks over there at 645-0736. Also, Kevin Dissler, who's with Pitt and Frank Attorneys. They do a great job, 895-9900. My son, Greg, who does a great job with our marketing and photography and so much more. And again, we're constantly looking for homes to list and sell. This is the number one thing that really helps drive our team and the economy. If you're thinking about listing a house, putting it on the market, you can reach out to me at 376-5483. And a reminder that we have a seller's workshop coming July 23rd. That's from 7 until 9 p.m. We'll be talking about the 10 variables when it comes to selling your home. It's Zoom. It's going to be on a Zoom. So what you can do, it's free, no obligation, from the safety of your home with your phone or your computer. We'll talk about the most common pricing pitfalls, things like a simple way to get rid of the stuff that you may have accumulated over the years in your home, and some simple fixes that cost very little but add a considerable amount of money to your house. Again, that's coming up on, and there's more, July 23rd, 7 to 9 p.m. Send me an email, bob@wesellouisville.com, and just put workshop in the subject line, and I'll send you a link to register. We'll take a break. Back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler and the Louisville Real Estate Show here with you in the, I say studio, but it's really their own studios from their own homes. We've got our buddy Kevin Dissler, Pitt and Frank Attorneys, at 895-9900. Also from Swan Financial. In for Randy Rocky today, we've got Steve Phillips, who's at 645-0736. It's actually Randy's number, but you can call and say you heard Steve on the radio, 645-0736. My son, Greg, who does our marketing, our media, so much more. And then you can reach me. We're desperately looking for homes to list and sell because we're doing it very quickly. 376-5483 is my number. A reminder that our Sellers Workshop, July 23rd, 7 to 9 p.m. Radio team, guys, you're all invited. 10 variables on how to get the most money and sell your home as quickly as possible, even with the pandemic. We've got a whole list of those things. Send me an email, bob@wesellouisville.com, and put workshop in the subject line. I'll send you out a link to register for the free no obligation workshop on the 23rd. Okay.
Hey, Bob.
Yep.
Got a question for you.
Yep.
Did you ever think that when you used to do radio back in your heydays, that you would ever be able to broadcast from home and think about the fact that radio stations may soon now be obsolete
No
in the
kidding.
face?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Point, yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, if you want to, Greg brings up another point. If you want to see a video of the radio show that we're recording right now, head to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's LouisvilleAnswers.com. It's a redirect that'll take you to our YouTube channel.
And you remember when we started videoing these in the studio, we were trying to get the angles so that you could see everybody, and now it just kind of worked itself out. How about that?
You know, it might almost if we ever get back in the studio, we all put our
Still
phones
might have to do this, yeah.
and do a Zoom. Well, we just shoot each other, and anyway, it just
Do it live. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Anyway, all right. So, what will homes look like in a post-pandemic world? A lot's changing over the past couple of months. Who knows what's going to happen in the months ahead? Greg just built a house over at Norton Commons, which was supposed to be in the Homerama, which now is 3D, right? Everything's online.
Yeah, it's still
3D.
BIA all online. Should be coming up very soon. They were in here doing some 3D tours and doing some flyovers with some drones and some sneak peek stuff. So it's coming on online soon. But what was interesting about the process, like you were saying, is that we got to meet with some of the town architects and some of the people who have go around the country. And they learn about, the future of architecture and the future of building and homes. And one of the things they mentioned was because of COVID, instead of that, and we've talked about it before briefly, instead of having a drop zone in your home, you now have a sanitation station. So you have a place where you can put the grocery bags down. Maybe there's a UV light where you can sanitize. But this is still, on the very cutting edge. Everyone's starting to talk about this.
And when you say a drop zone, you mean when the kids come in, they just drop their stuff on the floor and walk away?
Yeah. No actual physical room or a zone, but where you come in, the keys go down, the groceries hit the floor right from the garage, everything like that. But just having a place to sanitize there instead.
Yeah. Imagine. So that's the new thing. One of the new things that you'll probably be seeing as a result of what's going on now with COVID-19. Also, home size. Homes have been trending smaller, but that may be over. With so many families spending more time around home lately, there's never been a better need for bigger, more personal space. Also, prioritizing, it's one of those mornings, the home office. You may see pictures, folks. We have all home offices. You will be working from your home office. And what may be really concerning, Kevin, have you thought about now? Closings may always need to be there. Steve, Greg's showing us on his video of his home office.
I just prioritized my new home office.
That's very nice.
I am 95% of the time.
Yeah, if you go to the video, I'll give that out again in a minute. You'll see a video of his home office. Looks really cool. So these home offices, I've got one. Kevin, Steve, you got home offices hanging out at your homes?
Well, I've been doing a remodel on my house, and I'm doing it myself, so it's slow motion. So my office is kind of in flux right now, but it's the last room I got to finish. I've still got some paint right back here on the wall, or some plaster I'm still working on behind me here. So it's an ongoing process. But yeah, I've got an office. It's just not usable at this stage.
Kevin, how about you? Anything?
Well, I've got a home office, but we've talked before. We happen to be one of those few homes in Louisville, Kentucky that does not have broadband. And so you're trying to use the old dial-up AT&T line.
Oh no! Really? What? That's
Fisherville.
20, you're 20 years.
County.
That's not
well,
good.
Well, but the problem is when they go school. If for instance they go to, and it may be challenging to open up schools, but if they go to internet only, I know some of the council folks have dealt with how do you get some money to make sure everyone in Jefferson County actually has access, and there are some pockets that do not have broadband. So you need that to have a home office. But I think everybody now is you've taken a good portion of your home, and you need to make it a home office, and you better have a nice rec room and a nice 80-inch TV because it might be a while.
I think Elon Musk is going to solve this in a couple of years with internet connectivity.
Yes, apparently
enough on his plate.
JCPS is just voting recently about, I think six of the members are voting against going back to school. So they're still working that out. So it's looking grim for the parents that have to work in their home offices for here in the future.
Also in a post-pandemic world, returning to a closed floor plan. For so many people, the open floor plan was the way to go. But for some buyers, the appeal of what are you laughing? Do you
I
have
said
closed-
whoops because my home, if you'll see it on it's all open.
The appeal of the open floor plan was already trending down prior to 2020, and the past few months have only made it more reasons to be closing things in so you can get your own space, privacy for schoolwork or hobbies or entertainment. With more meals being cooked at home, an open concept kitchen becomes noisier and kind of the epicenter of practically everything happening all day long. So also that we'll see in the future more smart technology is already one of the fastest growing trends in home design, but
Yes.
smart home has become kind of the major point. And I know, Greg, you put a lot of smart home.
We were just
innovation.
talking about it but there's so many ways to go now, whether it's Google, Amazon, Apple, they all have home kits. You can go hardwired, which gives you the ultimate freedom. We have Control 4 now, which is a really cool brain for your home, and everything hooks in it through a Cat 6 cable, through an internet cable, basically. And then it uses your wireless internet. I've got a really cool lock on my front door where when I get close to it with my phone, it opens up, so I don't have to worry about, messing with it or unlocking it. I can just open it right up. There's a lot of cool stuff.
All right, let's move on. So that's some of the things that we're looking forward to, some of the changes that are
just going to
coming.
mention one other thing.
Yeah, go for
Bob,
it.
you didn't put on that list. Pools.
Oh,
Talk to a guy. He's got 80 on the list. 80 pools that he has to, and it can do about, probably a couple a month. But homes with pools have always been kind of a nice feature and also a little bit of difficult. But right now, as far as the selling point, pools are not open. You need some recreation. People are begging for them right now.
My sister's got a pool. We are there once a week minimum.
So having a relative with a pool is the best.
So one of the questions, and that was very well done and very well timed, Kevin. And by the way, if you want to see what people are saying about us, go to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com, just on a little aside there, LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. But the question is, should you take out a larger mortgage to pay for home improvements like a pool? Many people who apply for a mortgage want to borrow enough money to cover the purchase price of a home they're buying, minus the down payment, and they're able to come up with that. But what if the home you're buying will need improvements or a pool? If that's the case, you may be tempted to take out a higher mortgage. So, for example, Steve, do the numbers on this one. Let's say your home costs $200,000. You have $50,000 available for a down payment. So you plan to only borrow $150,000. However, that's a larger down payment. That's 25%, Steve, of what the cost is, right? What's the minimum you need?
Well, certain programs, you can go down to 3% down payment instead of 25% conventional. If you're doing government programs, if you're a veteran, you can get into it with not a penny out of pocket, pretty much maybe the cost of the appraisal possibly. But other than that, you don't need big down payments to purchase homes. It can help if you're trying to avoid mortgage insurance. But other than that, there's no reason for the most part to put a big amount of money down, especially if you're in a situation where you need some money for improvements for the property you're purchasing.
So, and by the way, if you put 20% or more down on a home, you'll eliminate your private mortgage insurance, just to let you know. So now let's say your home needs $10,000 in the way of repairs. Instead of putting down $100 or $50,000 down, you put $40,000 down, finance the rest. So you got a $160,000 mortgage that bumps you up. I'm going to guess maybe 10 to 15 or $20 a month in payment for an additional $10,000, Steve?
It'll be a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Rough rule of thumb is about $70 per 10,000.
Okay, so it was off 70,000. So, but you've now got 10,000 to make those repairs or improvements to the home that you're moving into. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, do you do a refi and cash out some money and use that money to pay for the pools that you might want to put in, or a hot tub to give you some relaxation and just maybe get away from it all? What do you think? I mean, those are some other options that maybe you might want to consider doing that down the road, even now. We are out of time, and I want to thank once again all the folks who joined us here in the studio. Of course, in for Randy Rocky, Steve Phillips over at Swan Financial, 645-0736. Also, Kevin Dissler, Pitt and Frank Attorneys at 895-9900. My son Greg does a great job with our marketing and so much more. And again, you can reach me at 376-5483. We're looking for homes to sell. And another quick reminder that one, you can go to LouisvilleAnswers.com if you want to see a repeat of this show, the video of it on YouTube, LouisvilleAnswers.com. And then remember, send me an email if you want to attend our seller workshop. That's July 23rd from 7 to 9 p.m. We'll be talking about the ways to sell your home, make more money, sell it faster, and some of the things, even including how to choose a photographer or team that does great photography. That's just one of the many things. Send me an email, bob@wesellouisville.com, and in the subject line, just put workshop, and I'll send out the link for you to register. Free, no obligation. Guys, thanks all for being here, and thank you for listening. We'll see you next Sunday right here on News Radio 840 WHAS. All right, that works.
Oh,
Right?
That went quick.
That did very
Always
quick.
do. When they're just 30 minutes, we're used to sitting in for a couple, hours.
Well, yeah. Any other things going on in your lives, you guys?
Greg, what's the best automation or intelligent things you got in your new house that you like the most so far? Is it the lock or is something else going?
The lock is always really cool. Control 4 is nice. There's a lot of advanced stuff and it gets pricey, but the really cool stuff that I'm seeing is what Google is doing with all of their Google Home integration stuff. Like I've got my security cameras and everything, but the lights I think are really cool. You can go buy these, they're GE light bulbs made for Google or Amazon Alexa. They work for everybody, but you can, walk into a room and if you have like a little Google hub, now granted somebody is now always listening, but somebody was always listening. It doesn't matter whether it's this thing, my computer or what, but you go in and you say, Google, turn my living room lights on. And if I've got my kids in my hands and it's dark and in the middle of the night and I'm coming downstairs to get a bottle, my lights turn on in my room. So that's one of the coolest features that I've been able to get a benefit from. And then, like I said in the show, the lock is really cool because when I pull up and I got groceries in my hands, I don't have to worry about unlocking the door. I just go right in. It's pretty cool. And what's cool is it's all automated in a hub. So when I'm gone or I'm out away on vacation, my alarm system, everything, I'm a hypochondriac. I'm one of those people who, even though I just lock my door, will turn around in my neighborhood after I'm 10 minutes away and come back just to make sure I lock the door. I don't have to do it anymore. So it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I've got the Philips Hue light and the changing of the colors and on and off and that kind of stuff. And I've done quite a bit of automation. I'm trying to get the things for the ceiling fans to convert down to voice control as well. So that's one of the next things. And I can't remember
the switches.
They have light switches that are in Google.
Switches they can become expensive, but they're becoming increasingly more affordable as the different companies jump on. But you can get on Amazon, and the biggest thing is like deciding who you want to go with, because once you like Philips Hue, they're cool because they work with pretty much everybody. They integrate with Amazon, Google, and everybody, Alexa. But some of the companies, they only work for one hub, whether it be Apple Home or Google Home or whatever. So you got to just kind of decide.
Let me ask a stupid question. If Bob comes into your house and says, turn on front porch light, it won't do it because it doesn't recognize his voice?
It will. No. It'll say, if you're in my house, it will. But on that point, though, we've got a babysitter that comes over to the house. We've got our Mimi that lives down the street now. So with the door lock, I can give her own personal access code, and then I get notified when they walk in the door. I get notified if the door has been left open for more than a minute. There's just a lot of cool different things. But yeah, there is voice recognition stuff, but in the house, if you just say, hey, Google, my screens and everything will light up. If somebody rings my doorbell through all my hubs and I don't hear the doorbell, but I'm in a room with my hub, it'll say, hey, somebody's at the front door. And if it's got a screen there, it'll pop up and show me who's at the front door. So these are all, and this is all without hardwiring. This is all coming. Right. This used to have to be something
Wi-Fi.
This is all Wi-Fi. Yeah, you need good broadband internet. Kevin is the first issue.
Yeah, I'm screwed. Yeah.
And that's pretty much what it's powered by. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of interesting. You got to pick one environment. You've got to go with Google or Amazon. And the other thing is you have to just make a decision. I'm going to give up privacy. I mean, I started my wife yesterday. Something popped up top of the screen. I was looking at some website on the iPad. How did they know? I really didn't talk to anyone.
Oh.
I didn't text. It's like somehow they picked up a
So
conversation
this is
in
this
the
is amazing.
house to feed us the ads.
So they use algorithms and they use voice. So okay, we're moving, right? And we don't have a microwave in here because we didn't do a built-in. And so Casey had mentioned a couple of days ago, there's a really cool new microwave with a air fryer built in. And I'm telling you, I got online and I had a targeted ad for that damn microwave with the air fryer in it. Not 10 minutes later, and then I've got this new nice desk with this wood here. Yeah, okay. And I didn't say a word. I wasn't thinking it. I'm scrolling on Instagram, and they must have used algorithms from seeing what I purchased on Amazon and the things that I've done for my home office. And they figured out that what would this guy love? Something to protect his desk that's really cool and really artsy. And of course, I bought it because I need it. And they know. And I didn't know I needed it, but they knew I needed it.
Do you just need to tune out? I was listening to like the Facebook, and they were talking about how the engineers, the whole process is to keep feeding you stuff on there, and the algorithms do it just so that your eyeballs are on there for a longer and longer and longer period of time. And, you know, as far as getting you to a particular politician, making you do X, it's really gotten, you either just got to give up or just dive in.
Well, here's the thing. Most people have already. If you have a phone in your pocket, if you have one social media account, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever, if you subscribe to one of those, they've got you. Your information is being fed, whether you want to get Google Home and security or not. You've already submitted subconsciously or not with your cell phone, you know?
So I wonder if there are people that get paid to take you off the grid completely.
Welcome to George Orwell's 1984. We are living in it.
Do you know a person who knows a person that can completely disappear me from all digital tracks? Maybe that's what I need. Go up in Montana somewhere.
You got a pretty good head start with no Wi-Fi.
There's a movie that they based that off of where they were like, it's the key where it's like your data is erased. Like you're able to completely turn off your footprint. You know,
I had a guy was like in Navy SEALs or something. He said they can actually track your vehicle. He drove like an old Wagoneer because when you have your air go low in your car, there's a little sensor that transmits. And it has, I guess, a MAC address on it. He said, throw away your phone, everything else. As long as we know what you're driving, we can track you wherever we want. It's like, really? I got to drive an 83 Wagoneer to get all the chips removed from my car?
Something that doesn't tell me my tire is low?
But it's like, how do you really get off the grid? It'd be very difficult.
You're born into it, baby. Well, as soon as you get that Social Security number, you're in it. You are
Sounds like
in
the Matrix. Take the red pill, man. Red pill. Go down the rabbit hole. Yeah. All right, gentlemen, I got to go and deal with the title issue. So I will
go walk.
Bob, you want this back?
There, Steve.
It's a long walk.
No, keep it for
next session.
Yep, you got it.
You know where it is if you need it.
I got my app from from Randy to get my refi, so I'm working on that now. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Steve. Good job. Thank you guys. Take care. All righty. Bye.